7, day number 3 in the North American Challenger League. I am Malphus being joined here by Studio, and our first game of the night is going to pit vVv up against Team Curse.
All right, let's see if either team goes for the invade. You can see Zegan already building up the Incinerate stun stacks. Just use a cast spell one more time, and you'll have that stun ready, I believe. Might be 2. And looking at vVv, they're moving forward themselves. They have to be very careful of Zegan. Zegan, of course, will only have 1 spell to cast, essentially, because he's almost out of mana. And you can see that vVv already grouped up, waiting as a team, but still spread out to try and watch as many entrances as they can safely.
Apparently Comp is over here telling jokes to get snuggled. He's just standing here, spamming laugh, smashing the ground with those big, goopy green glue hands. I don't know, there's just something creepy about Zach. It's like something out of one of my worst nightmares.
He's a strange guy. If you like Flubber, like the movie Flubber, he's not a bad character. But you can see vVv moving forward for the invade. They knew it was going to be relatively safe just because by spotting out Annie and Draven in the mid lane, and Udyr, I believe, that they were able to just say, all right, if we cut forward now, this will either be cutting them in half, which is still a great fight for vVv, or the enemy team is just spread out and you don't have to worry about aggression, which was the case. You can see Quas up at the top lane, just hugging his turret, not wanting to take the risk of heading to a tri-bush.
And that's a wise decision. Tri-brushes sometimes have nasty things in them that will kill you. They'll just kill you right away. So we see Zekin is continuing to roam forward, as he's maybe looking to get a little harass down, or no, looks like he might be helping I Will Dominate steal this red buff away. That 1-minute ward has expired, so I Will Dominate's entry into the jungle on this side will not be spotted out as of yet. So right now, they do have a pretty good situation to control the early buff here, and we'll see if Porpoise Pops pulls a similar move and actually grabs himself an early red buff as well. If not, I Will Dominate has a pretty good opportunity to control 3 buffs on this first rotation.
Yeah, what's going on here is because vVv don't have any vision on their own red buff, they're going to have to play the guessing game. If they assume that the red buff has been stolen, which is not a bad assumption to make, they can send Lee Sin straight to the enemy team's red buff and go 1-for-1, equal trades essentially. However, if Porpoise Pops does what he's doing right now and looks like rotates towards his own red buff, it's going to be gone, and we're going to see I Will Dominate take massive control of the jungle.
And this is what Udyr wants to do and is capable of doing and arguably needs to do, is just get out ahead, farm really, really hard, and just abuse being Udyr and all the power that comes with that early on. Curse, apparently, they really did want to fight early on, as I Will Dominate actually had Bear Stance as his opening stance on Udyr, which I want to say is something you don't see all that often unless you actually find yourselves in the middle of a fight.
That's actually pretty crazy. You don't even necessarily want it for a fight, actually. The stun is good, but sometimes it comes down to the burst damage. Most players would hold on to it until a fight starts, so that they really were looking for that quick pick-off. So you can actually take a tower shot bottom. That's a nice little opening created, because now he's so low on HP, he actually has to use a health potion and back on off. This gives a moment for Godshoe and Tails to just CS and play a bit more offensively. Just, for 10-15 seconds. It's not a long time, but it's something.
So up in the top lane, Quas stepping on bubbles, squashing them out, keeping Get Snuggled from getting as much sustain as he could potentially get. While down in the bottom lane, you mentioned that Annie is just downright terrifying early on, and indeed, there is no pressure coming out onto Draven whatsoever. Up in the top lane, we see Quas getting dove. He's going to flash back over here. Get Snuggled has to flash back out of tower range. Porpoise Pops going to take tower aggro. I Will Dominate's right there. Porpoise Pops going to go down. First blood, I Will Dominate.
Porpoise Pops getting hit by a turret after it already attacked, gets stung about 3 times, which meant the damage stacked up. That's way too much for him to deal with. That's unfortunate. You could see him going for that finisher, but he didn't have his Q available. But Sonic Wave has a longer cooldown at level 1, and as a result, he could not get that execute. He could not get the finish. In response, I do like what I Will Dominate's doing, which is immediately rushing towards Wraiths. But now, I Will Dominate got a first blood, assist for Quas, flash on down and get stungled, as well as ignite while Quas still has his teleport, with a lot of control across the map as I Will Dominate now just going to go on a rampage, looking for kills, looking for pressure.
I Will Dominate significantly ahead of the Lee Sin of Porpoise Pops at this point, and Curse significantly ahead of vVv this early on. It's already a 1,000 gold advantage for them here, just past the 4-minute mark. Tails continuing to CS as best he can, having a pretty good time of it, but Cop with the spinning axes is ready to just crush down that Vayne's face.
And something important is that I Will Dominate would already be able to beat Porpoise Pops in a 1v1. Very few champions can beat Lee Sin in a 1v1 in the jungle. Udyr is one of those champions. Udyr just has that much tankiness and that much DPS. Porpoise Pops looking for a gank, though. He's going to walk across the ward, but will it be too late?
Cop, he's not even going to react to it, as he recognizes, alright, we know that he's gotten spotted out. I can get away from this one using my blood rush if I need to. He's going to stick around and actually just continue farming. Grabs himself up a cannon minion there with that spinning axe. So he's in a good position right now. He's getting a lot of CS, catching a lot of axes. Porpoise Pop's going to try to make his way in onto the mid lane. Voyboy getting taken down quite low. He's going to pop the Ghost. There's the Sanguine Pool coming out as soon as Cheese Beluga jumps in, and that will be enough to get Voyboy away from that gank. But Porpoise Pops is able to burn that Ghost.
Of course, Vladimir is going double defensive summoners in terms of utility, so got Flash and Ghost to keep himself alive. Flash will be able to use in response. Actually, I will dominate now, just chasing down Porpoise Pops in the jungle. He can't quite finish him off. Lee Sin is fast, but Udr's just going to take control, take another creep camp, and just force Porpoise Pops to fall further and further behind.
Yeah, he now is doubling up his CS at this point. He's significantly ahead. He's up a full level as well. And he just has complete control of the jungle right now. Cheese Beluga is spamming out as hard as he can. Voyboy is a little bit over half health, and Cheese Beluga has used just about all of his mana. So we see Cheese Beluga is going to go ahead and he's going to head back. Now, is this a phase of the game where Voyboy's Vladimir needs to be worried? Kha'Zix is known for being a very, very strong mid-game champion. Vladimir, it takes a little bit more time to ramp up.
Vladimir does, however, the problem for Cheese Beluga is he has to go for a very defensive build. It's the offensive Vladimir build that can pick off squishy champions like, let's say, an Ahri. But Voyboy actually aggression on the bot lane. Zeke trying to get away. The Condemned doesn't land, though.
Zeke going to try to flash himself away from this one. Drops the exhaust back on the tails. Porpoise Pop's not going to be able to get through Cop as Cop body blocks for his support. They will be able to get both of them out, and they only lose the flash and the exhaust onto Zeke.
It's unfortunate they could not land that gank, but, you know, Draven a fast champion. If you don't land that consistent CC, and especially the Condemned helping send Zinken away, this is not going to result in a kill. What's happening with Kha'Zix right now, though, is that because he's getting bullied so hard, he is keeping up in CS. But by maxing out the Void Spikes first, Void Spikes, if you do, actually aggression on the top lane gets stuck in a lot of danger. Does survive with the Let's Bounce, and Quas does pop his ultimate. It's going to be a very even lane for now, but if Quas will eventually just get more and more passive sustain, that Snuggle's going to have so much trouble dealing with.
Yeah, basically, Get Snuggle continue poking down on the Quas. I will dominate going to come in from the side. Get Snuggle in a little bit of trouble here. Gets for the little brush juke. There's the Bear Stand Stun as well, so he can use the Elastic Slingshot to get away if he wants to. Doesn't look like he'll even have to as he just walks back in under the tower. But Get Snuggle, basically, he just continued poking Quas down and got up in his face and was just continuing to apply as much pressure as he could. And Quas recognized, oh, I'm in a situation where Ignite plus Let's Bounce will probably kill me. And he just kind of popped his ult preemptively to try to get Snuggle to just back away and use his ult a little bit more defensively rather than try to get every tick of damage.
Yeah, just using the raw HP, which a lot of people use it for the damage, especially when they can control a lane. But in those even matchups, just the base HP can be enough to stop aggression and stop a fight. Because Snuggle did hold on to his Ignite that fight, and I gotta say, this is a scary lane for Zach, and he's already fallen behind. It really is just gonna get worse. So they need to get Porpoise Pops into the lane, either killing Quas or send Get Snuggled out of lane once Let's Bounce comes back up and just try and get some ganks. Unfortunately, Voyboy with the pool going to be a hard target to land and kill. This means that his best option is going to be rotating bottom, possibly going for a dragon fight, but that leaves Quas with his teleport available to counter teleport.
We see Voyboy is, at this point, he's dominating Cheese Beluga as far as the harass goes. Cheese Beluga having to walk up to the creeps in order to be able to CS as Porpoise Pops comes in on the ward, gets immediately stunned up by Zeke, and now here comes I Will Dominate for the counter gank. Porpoise Pops rather going to turn away from this one. Here comes the teleport coming in from Quas as well. They want as many of these kills as they can get. There's the wither down onto Tails. Tails has already flashed away, has no mana left on this one. Dominate, walking back up. Quas going to be one to take the tower. There's the Bear Stand Stun. Tails going to get exploded as Quas picks Zakil up. Now Got You finds himself alone with no mana under the tower, just stands and accepts his fate as he falls down. Quap going to be the one, or Cop rather. Quas and Cop standing next to each other, not too much fun for me. They're gonna give that kill over to Cop. He's gonna be able to activate that passive, get a nice infusion of gold, and the rest of Curse is gonna move over towards the dragon.
It's a solid dive. This is the one advantage that comes up for vVv is Get Snuggled, is able to push up top lane, but the dragon comes down. Now we're going to see a 4,000 gold advantage just kind of balloon out. As Curse, they've had control of the lanes, they've had control of the kills. It just took that one bad team fight, that one bit of over-aggression from vVv to really secure it and result in these kills. The problem with vVv is, frankly, all their lanes are kind of hard countered. Draven can beat Vayne early. Vladimir can beat Kha'Zix early to mid-game quite easily. Like, Cheese Beluga can try and push the lane and farm, but in the end, Voyboy is going to move forward non-stop and punish Cheese Beluga if he's ever got his Void Spikes on cooldown or moving too far forward for CS. And then top lane Quas, he already had control of the lane, now he's going to have even more with a kill and 2 assists. So they've got 3 lanes that are losing. Porpoise Pops died early, and he actually did not have his red buff until now because of the early invade from I Will Dominate. What is there for vVv to do to get back into the game? They have to group up and go for objectives, but this means that Draven is farming. This means that Quas is farming. And they need to find a way to balance out their ability to a team fight. and the fact that their lanes are just getting demolished.
So in addition to the kill and 2 assists that Cop got, in addition to being able to take down the Dragon as well, he got 420 gold from his passive. So he basically scored an extra kill and an assist on that one. His score line is effectively double what he actually has on the scoreboard mark just because of that passive. Again, it's not a passive that helps you win, it's a passive that helps you win harder. Porpoise Pops goes in on a Void Boy. He might live to regret this one, or rather, he might not live to regret this one. Hemoplague gonna come back out, and that's gonna be a quick kill for Void Boy. Porpoise Pops just stuck around too long, messed with a command that he shouldn't have messed around with. Up in the top lane, Quas gonna pop his ultimate, goes in on to get Snuggle. We see Porpoise Pop, or excuse me, Cheese Beluga coming in for the gank. Quas gonna run through the tower, gonna flash himself over the wall in this one as soon as he gets slowed out here by Get Snuggled. Gonna try to get himself away from this one. You see Cheese Beluga has roamed out of the mid lane, gonna try to continue chasing him down. I Will Dominate's gonna be there for the support. Quas just gonna step forward and chunk Cheese Beluga down. Get Snuggle comes in with the elastic slingshot. Now he's gonna get stunned up by the bear stance. He's gonna fall down. He goes into the passive, and he will not make it out of this one. Void Boy gonna show up just in time to get a little bit of damage down, pick up an assist. Dominate's gonna be the one to pick up that kill. That's just gonna be his 3rd of the game. As Team Curse, they go ahead 4,500 gold here at the 11-minute mark.
You gotta give credit to Quas there. That was a fantastic escape. Like, alright, do you take the risky route, go to the enemy turret, actually flash Tibbers onto her tails, no flash, but they do take him down. Cop now going for the dive though.
Zekan trying to just stand and tank as much tower as he can. He's got Tibbers in there as well to give this Lulu a good smack in the face or two. Cop's just going to try to get as much damage as he can. Going to continue chucking down on the tower. Gotchu will not be able to get away from this one. I Will Dominate's coming from the side as well. There's the stand aside. They would love to put this kill onto Cop as well, and they will be able to do so. So he picks that one up. As that's, yeah, Curse, they have a lead. We'll say a lead. They've got a little lead.
It's 8-0. I mean, Quas was able to escape a gank by running through the enemy's turret. And just getting backed up by the jungler that was way past the blue buff and just taking control of the map. Like, they have so much map control. They haven't actually killed a turret besides bot lane yet, but that doesn't really matter because Cheese Beluga is having trouble laning mid, and Void Boy is just clearing out non-stop, and Quas also at any point can leave his lane and Get Snuggled can't really do anything to stop him. Now, bot lane was going to be the big hope for vVv. It's like maybe Tails and Gotchu could play passively, keep it even, keep up the farm, but Cop's already taking control. He's ahead by 15 CS. Then you factor in the 2 kills and 3 assists. Then you factor in, of course, Draven's passive, the League of Draven, and he's got 600 gold earned from that passive, 584 to be specific. So Draven's massively far ahead. His spinning axes are just completely annihilating Tails. He's already finished up his Bloodthirster and has a pickaxe to back that up. Essentially, they're looking for Curse now to leave the laning phase on vVv, and then hopefully they'll make a mistake.
Quas going to find himself in the 2v1 up in the top lane. Pops the ultimate, just running back around, trying to kite through the creeps, trying to use as much, take as much time as he can, kill as many of the creeps as he can before he goes. Not going to take too long for them to clean that one out. Cheese Beluga, you may want to pick that kill up.
Well, but actually might catch up Porpoise Pops, though. The ultimate does come down. Is that going to be enough?
Yes, indeed it will. As he flashes forward, going to get another Tides of Blood down. Void Boy, one last transfusion. Going to be the one to pick up the kill onto Porpoise Pops there. Cheese Beluga flashing away from I Will Dominate as he recognizes the dive is imminent. Tries to jump in onto Void Boy. Void Boy going down into the Sanguine Pool. This is going to be another kill coming down very quickly. It's going to go to I Will Dominate. He grabs his 4th of the game. It's Curse maintaining control all over the place. I Will Dominate now getting jumped on by Get Snuggled. Get Snuggles going to try to get the ultimate off. Going to get a fair amount of damage down, but I Will Dominate extremely tanky right now. Dealing a lot of good damage output as well with that Phoenix stance. Void Boy standing right there, chunking him down again and again. Get Snuggled loses basically all of his size. He goes down to almost nothing. Quas comes in with the teleport. There's the Wither. And this Zac is not long for this world. Siphoning Strike not going to be good for the kill, but the transfusion coming out from Void Boy will get it done. Curse now lead by 10 kills, 11-1.
Are these mana wards coming down from Curse right now? They put down 2. I wasn't sure what it was going to be used for. Then Quas teleported in, thought that might be it, but I think Curse might have just put down some mana wards there. Not positive though. Not going to make the judgment. Tibbers does go down from Zekan though.
Tail's gonna get ulted up by the Lulu. It's gonna be yes enough to get him. No, not enough to get him away from this one. Cop gonna step forward. They're gonna pick up that kill. Now he's under the tower. He's taking this one up. He's gonna get shut down by Cheese Beluga. Now Porpoise Pops trying to chase down the Zekan. Zekan got some fancy feeds. He's gonna dodge away there from the queue. Ward goes down in case Porpoise Pops finds the opportunity and the necessity to ward jump. Will indeed do so. Second kill goes down to Cheese Beluga. So vVv, they're still fighting on this one, but they're gonna lose their mid tower for it.
Unfortunately, these are the kills that you don't want to be picking. Well, you want to pick them up when available, but if you're picking them up and it means you're in a bad situation. These are the over-aggression kills that vVv are getting, and they're in a position where, all right, they just picked up 3 kills. Compared to before, that's not bad. compared to 0-10. However, obviously top lane, they got a kill and lost 2 members in response. Bot lane, they got 2 kills and lost 1 member, but they can't take Dragon because it's up in 15 seconds. It was down for the kill. They're going to be able to take their own red buff, but essentially they get nothing out of it. They don't get turret damage, they don't get a turret, they don't get Dragon, they don't get an objective besides their own red buff. And frankly, if you look at what Curse was able to get out of it, they got map control, they got wards down all over vVv's jungle, and they have the fear and just fog of war playing for them still. And it's going to be vVv has to push out to get that to work. However, when they push out, all of a sudden Curse going for a gank isn't over aggressive.
You see Dominate just running around. He wants someone to give a bear hug, and it looks like he will not find Porpoise Pops. Porpoise Pops able to use the safeguard to get him out to the ward on that one. But Curse at this point, they've taken pretty much complete control of the map. They're stepping forward here. They do have pressure past the blue buff area, though the blue buff isn't up right now, so they can't actually control that objective. Whereas they've just left Quas up in the top lane to continue farming that Nasus into full AFK ridiculous mode. He's got a Spirit Visage done, another 1100 gold in his pocket, and it looks like his team might be trying to help him out as far as adding on to that one as they move in onto the Dragon. Got you. Very, very carefully stepping forward. Zekin does have the Oracle, so they'll be able to take away some of this ward coverage. Porpoise Pop lands a Q. Will not get the steal down. Dominate. Takes that away as the Lee Sin was coming in. Stand aside, trying to buy a little bit of time before everyone else comes back in. Tails comes from the other side. Zekin going to get caught on the flank because it looks like he's going to be the first target. He will fall down now. Porpoise Pops picks that one up with a Dragon Rage. Now when Zeke gets snuggled, does manage to take down Cop. Gotcha getting taken out extremely low. Cheese Beluga continuing to chase around. It looks like vVv are going to be able to take the fight after losing the Dragon. They do push them back out. It goes 3-for-0 in favor of vVv. But they still don't have an answer for Quas in the top lane.
No, they're going to send back Lee Sin at the moment and Lulu as well. They also need to get Snuggle just to try and scare him away. The big dog just has too much bite behind him now. However, that is what vVv needs to do. They need the team fight. They need the fact that when you combine the damage from a Kha'Zix, their CC and initiation and surprise factor of a Zac, and just the overall utility of Lulu, they can actually win a team fight very handily. That was, of course, a 5v4 in the end. So no Quas, that is a huge team fight member that can shut down Vayne, that can very easily bursted down 3 or so members in that team fight. Dominate takes a bit of damage mid lane, but Zekin has shown up. Does he have a stun available? Should be able to get the combo down if necessary.
Trying to get him into range for this one. Dominate. Oh, I like the usage there of the stand aside, trying to cancel if Lee Sin did try to follow through on that one. But there was no follow-up aggression there. Curse do manage to keep their tower alive, so they've yet to yield a tower. I was kind of wondering at once the score started hitting like 5-0, if we were going to see a situation where Curse just didn't fall down at any point. But now they've given over 6 kills. So at this point, vVv are doing an admirable job of coming back into this game. I mean, it's very, very difficult to try to slow down the snowball once it starts to roll. But they've done a very nice job of it thus far. But they've got a lot of work left to do if they want to be able to catch themselves back up into this one, as they do still trail by 8,500 gold.
They need more team fights, which is scary to say. They need 5v4s. A 5v5, if they actually go for that big, just both sides grouped up team fight, they'll probably lose. And they almost did lose the 5v4. However, like I said, with the utility of Lulu and the fact that Tails should be able to stay at least alive in the background if one member isn't there, either Dominate or Quas, then they can just kite it out, make Vayne win the team fight almost on her own, essentially. The problem is that Curse, they now have Quas with teleport available. If they get into a normal 5v5, it actually Cop might be a bit of danger, but no, the stand aside, I believe that might have saved him there, knocking him out of the air.
He's going to have a hard time saving Zekin, though. Zekin trying to get himself away from this one. Exhaust goes down to Cheese Beluga. There's a flash. There's an ignite. Cheese Beluga picks up the kill on the roaming support.
And that's what they need. Pick up 1 kill at a time. Actually, Cop might be in a lot of danger now.
Cop getting aggressed on here by Porpoise Pop's going to use the stand aside. Get Snuggle, tries to get into range. Cop will flash away from this one as Quas comes in with a teleport. Did not want to get slowed down by Get Snuggled. Wasn't sure exactly how much aggression was going to follow that one. As it looks like Quas is going to cancel his teleport and walk the rest of the way. Okay.
It saves the cooldown, and he has to wait for the minion and the rest of his team to show up as well. So it is a smart decision. However, it's a 5v4. This is possibly the moment. They are missing the anti-hard CC. They need that hard CC. They might be able to get a turret, might be able to get a pressure, maybe even a kill. It's going to be difficult, and you can see Curse. They're a very scary group right there. Boy is going to be difficult to kill now that he has his Zonias. Quas is going to be difficult to kill because he's a Nasus that has 137 CS and kills and assists. So in the end, even a 5v4 is scary for vVv, but they're still picking up kills. They are getting control of the map. They did burn Cop's flash. They're making strides, ever so small strides. If they can keep up the momentum, maybe, just maybe they can take control of this game.
We see Get Snuggle dives in onto Quas. Quas gonna run back around. There's Get Snuggle gonna pop the ultimate as well. Let's Bounce is just Let's Bounce and take a ton of damage. Voyboy gonna pick up the first kill onto Gachu. And then he's gonna trade his life back over. Cheese Beluga picks that kill up. Quas continue to just chunk down the tower as best he can. Porpoise Pops goes in onto Quas and gets blown to pieces. One siphoning strike plus a little bit of damage from Zeke. It was good enough to pick up the kill there. The Lee Sin Q-Toast is a little too strong with that one. As we see Quas at this point, he's got an extra 282 damage on the siphoning strike, and Porpoise Pops just got chunked.
Porpoise Pops got destroyed. I like it. He was going for just an ultimate to try and keep the turret alive, even just for a little bit longer, even for just 5-10 seconds. Maybe it would be enough. Unfortunately, just not quite there. Now that mid turret going to be going down. Mid inhibitor should survive though, as it will have Porpoise Pops available, and Gachu has respawned. You can tell, vVv is close. They actually have really good team fight and really good damage. But the problem is it just takes one character to fall. In that case, it was Gachu, and they lose so much utility and just so much from that Lulu that they can't actually stay alive. They can't keep applying that shield, and they'll lose the fight. If they had, let's say, 3,000 more gold, which could be from farm, could be from taking a dragon. If the gold gap was a little bit smaller, they would actually be doing really well in these fights. Maybe not winning, but coming out even at least. However, unless they get another 5v4, they need a numbers advantage. They need Curse to make a mistake now.
Okay. Am I the only one that's hoping that Giant's Belt plus Ruby Crystal is going to end up equaling Warmog's armor on I Will Dominate?
That would be... I mean, it's not a bad Udyr item. Udyr is weird in the sense that you can kind of build anything on him. You can build AP on him. It's not great. Would not recommend the Rage Blade, but it works. And that's just kind of how he builds. Any stat, except essentially Critical Strike, is good for Udyr just because he's built around getting a lot of auto attacks off. He's built around getting a lot of procs from either Tiger or Phoenix stance. Actually, sometimes both if you're going for heavy offense later on in the game. And it's very, very difficult to deal with Udyr if he does get tanky. So he might go for the Warmog. The straight up raw HP is going to be pretty effective since there isn't a whole lot of huge... Well, actually there's the Execute from Lee Sin, and there is also Zac who does have max percentage HP damage, so that's going to be rough for him. But in the end, it will help him keep himself alive very specifically versus Cheese Beluga. That's a lot of damage coming out from Kha'Zix at this point, going for the Mana Moon Last Whisper build. So if he's just looking to survive against Cheese Beluga, then raw HP can be very effective, especially with all the armor penetration Kha'Zix has purchased.
Sadly, however, it is not to be, as he did turn the Giant's Belt into a Sunfire Cape. And that's typically speaking, you see this a lot, where the HP in the early game is arguably the more valuable stat. So you see people just kind of buying HP from a couple of different tank items if that's what they're going to end up purchasing anyway. And then they can transition into whatever they actually want on this one. So Sunfire Cape coming out from the Giant's Belt, or from the Giant's Belt rather. Ruby Crystal could go into just about anything. Spirit Wisp would make a lot of sense. Cop extremely far forward here. Porpoise Pops going to try to get in on this fight. Kick Zekin back into the middle of nowhere. Quas comes back in with a teleport. Cheese Beluga chunked down to almost nothing. Going to have to jump himself over the wall to get away from this one. Get Snuggle, goes in on a Cop. Will be able to pick that kill up. Porpoise Pops keeping himself on the edge of the fight as Quas going to want to pick up the kill and get Snuggle there. Voyboy goes into the Zanya's Hourglass. They're going to try to continue chasing down the Cheese Beluga. Flash Bear Stance comes out onto Gachu. Gachu going to be the target here for I Will Dominate. He's going to use the shield on himself, but doesn't look like he's able to get himself away from this one. I Will Dominate picks that kill up. Meanwhile, Quas inside the base is able to chase down the kill onto Cheese Beluga. Tails coming away. He has 15 health right now. They just need one Spirit Fire, and that's going to do it. Quas picks that kill up. And Curse take this fight. It goes 4 for 1 in favor of Curse. And now they're ready to take down an inhibitor. No, not over yet. Porpoise Pops gets in on his Zekint. Going to get exhausted. Will be able to ward jump himself back over the wall. So he will be able to get away from that one. And it's going to end up going... I thought someone died. Oh, Cop did die earlier. So it is going to end up going 3 for 2 in favor of vVv. And there's Voyboy picking up another kill. Just
yeah, so that was the inhibitor. That was actually the full ace, as Getsung has already respawned from his earlier death. I believe he was the second one to die after going aggressively for Cop. And Porpoise Pops unfortunately recalled on in the bush with a ward on it and just got taken out. I think Porpoise Pops at that point must have been looking at the shot menu because, it was a few seconds of Voyboy walking towards him that he could have responded. However, it was a neat fight from vVv, but Curse, they had Cop do enough damage, and this is something that we've been seeing a lot lately as well. Teams don't necessarily rely on 80 carries to win fights anymore. And in the case of Curse, Voyboy has ridiculous sustained damage. With his item build as progressive part as it is this early, and Quas of course has ridiculous sustained damage because Siphoning Strike is terrifying. So they're able to lose Cop. Cop got a lot of damage off. He forced the members of vVv to chase him down, which meant everybody was in a bad position, and then the rest of the team, not necessarily the AD carry, but the AP carry and the big dog carry could easily clean him up. It's kind of similar to what you see from Curse Academy, where they don't rely on an AD carry, and it's because they do a lot of damage, yes, and they are relatively safe, but there are a lot of champions out there, especially in mid-game, that can output just as much, if not more, than an AD carry can.
Absolutely, and we see, right now the build right now for Quas is just so much tankiness with cooldown reduction. That's all he needs right now. He's got the Frozen Heart done. There's the Spirit Visage as well, and he's got the Ninja Tabi to mitigate some of the damage coming out from these, primarily from Vayne and Kha'Zix, who are the two high damage threats right now. Get snuggled, getting chased away from the tower here by I Will Dominate. As Zeke and Cesspool here going to drop the Tibbers rather on this one as they try to defend the tower. There's the Draven ultimate coming in as well. Chunking members down quite low. I Will Dominate stepping forward there. Insanely tanky on that Udyr at this point. He's taking up damage from just about everybody, not really losing anything. Zekin steps forward there, going to get the flash in, the stun down onto Tails. Tails flashes himself away from this one. It will be just enough space to get away from I Will Dominate as the Glitterlance comes back out to continue the slows. I Will Dominate does get the Bear Stand stun down onto Gachu. He's going to continue to chase this one as best he can. Gachu getting chunked down. Cop going to flash forward here. He picks up that kill and the passive gold that comes along with it. That stand aside isn't going to land, so he will not be able to chase Tails down. But they do pick up one kill for nothing. Now we see Voyboy chasing down on the Cheese Beluga. Cheese Beluga with just no HP at this point. 80 hit points right now for this one. As he's trying to get away from Voyboy. Voyboy, no summoners up. Porpoise Pops comes into the area as well. Meanwhile, inside the base, I Will Dominate, chunk down. He's going to fall to get snuggled. As Get Snuggled pops the Let's Bounce right away. We see there's the Condemn rather coming out onto Quas as his ultimate damage is enough to put Get Snuggled into the passive. Now Tail's going to fall down as Cop. That's just going to keep happening. If these guys are standing next to each other, we're going to keep doing that all night. He picks that kill up, picks up 2 more kills as they take down the tower. And Curse, at this point, they've got this game almost under wraps. Won't quite be able to finish it up just yet.
Yeah, a good fight for vVv. They tried to make some cool things happen. It was close, but I mean, not close enough in the end. But when I say close, I mean vV was able to get some cool pickoffs. You can see just right now Draven. Draven does not necessarily outscale Vayne in the late game, even though Spinning Axis does very, very high damage. Even considering that Tumble, I believe, does a little bit less, actually significantly less. Vayne has the advantage of her passive, the True Silver Bolts, and the ultimate. And you can see there that Cop does not care about that. With the Bloodthirster, BF, or Last Whisper, and now the Finish Infinity Edge, he just completely decimates Vayne in 3 or 4 auto attacks, especially if one of them is a crit. And that was the big problem for vVv. They now have a Vayne that is losing to the enemy team's AD carry, which is someone who, honestly, 27-30 minutes in the game should actually be starting to equal out. Like, vVv, they've had some good moments, they've had some cool play. Porpoise Pops got some sick pickoffs. Cheese Beluga does a lot of damage, but they're so far behind. Their initiator is just getting destroyed in about 3 or 4 seconds, and the AD carry and just the rest of the output from vVv cannot compare to Curse at this point. Gachu now caught out. This might be the kill that leads to the end of the game.
Gachu is withered up. He's going to try to get himself away from this one. It's going to be a very, very difficult task as I Will Dominate goes into the Bear Stance. There's another Wither coming out as well. Cop comes in from the side. Will not be in time for the last hit. As we see, Quas, the Siphoning Strike at this point is hitting for bonus 444 damage. So just absolutely colossal damage output coming from him right now. Porpoise Pop's going to go for the 1v tower approach. He tries to take this one down. There's an entire creep wave there. He's going to get chunked down by that super minion. He might fall down from this one. He is going to be able to get himself away from that one, but just barely. As he retreats into the Wraith Camp area, he's going to be able to get himself away from that one. But the rest of Team Curse coming in onto the Inhibitor Tower right now. They chunk that one down. Insane damage output right now. Quas just drops a couple of those Siphoning Strikes, and the tower just melts. Porpoise Pops made his way back into the base right now, trying to dive in on the Cop. We'll be able to get the Dragon's Rage down, but there's not a whole lot of follow-up. At this point, he's just trying to run away from this one, uses the Ward Jump just to get himself back out of this one. Quas stepping forward, they're going to get the Wither down. We see Get Snuggled trying to dive in on the Cop, doesn't have the damage output to make it happen. Double kill comes down, Cheese Beluga jumps into the fight, will be able to get the assassination on the Cop. Now he needs to get himself away from this one. He will not be able to do it as the Flash Q comes out. The all-dreaded Doge will be able to pick that kill up. Now Tails getting zoned away here by Voyboy chasing him onto the fountain. Still has his Zanya's Hourglass available. Will use it. Tails is going to get a little bit of regen at this time, and he's going to step forward here. They both die at the same time as Voyboy goes down to the fountain. Quas going to pick up a little bit more Siphoning Strike damage as he picks that kill up. And now they move back on to the Nexus Towers. Curse going to be able to close this game out.
I mean, Curse, they got the surrender vote out. They played consistently. They played well. Their lanes were amazing. The picks, I think the picks is what just completely set up the snowball, and the Curse immediately took advantage of some of their 2v2s, some of the over-aggression from vVv, and just used that to skyrocket in the lead.